Hello students, how are you all? Hope you are keeping good. Today we are going to study the chapter A Letter to God, written by a Mexican writer, Gregoria Lopez y Fuentes. Now, before we start the chapter, let's have a quick look at the biography of the author. Born on November 17, 1895, Gregoria Lopez y Fuentes was a Mexican novelist, poet, and journalist. He was one of the leading chroniclers of the Mexican Revolution. Lopez y Fuentes was born in a ranch called El Mami in the Huasteca region of Veracruz. He started writing at the age of 15 when the Mexican Revolution began. Many of his books are related to civil conflicts. Later on, he became a teacher of literature at a school in Mexico City and once again started writing stories in 1921. His stories were seen as exciting, humorous, and symbolic of Mexico. A realist, many of his works concerned the oppression of Native Americans. He has written many books, including Claros de Selva in 1921, El Vagabundo in 1922, A Letter to God, and many more. He was awarded the National Prize of Arts and Sciences in 1935. He left for his final abode on December 10, 1966. Before understanding the chapter, let's have a quick look at the glossary used. Crest, top of a hill. Predict, forecast or say in advance. Intimately, closely. Hailstones, small balls of ice falling as rain. Draped, covered. Locusts, insects which fly in big swarms and destroy crops. Consigns, an inner sense of right and wrong. Peso, currency of several Latin American countries. Amiable, friendly and pleasant. Contentment, satisfaction. A letter to God. Well children, a letter to God deals with three main themes. First, it shows the utter innocence of the farmer Lencho as he writes a letter to God asking for 100 pesos without an address and believes that God would respond. The second theme here is, it shows Lencho's firm faith in God. God responds, though through his own peculiar channels, and fulfills his urgent legitimate desire through the postmaster and other post office employees, but only with 70 pesos. The third theme is, sometimes even our generosity and kindness not only remains unrecognized, but also we might be misunderstood as bunch of crooks. Unlike Lencho, who after receiving 70 pesos believes that the post office employees are a bunch of crooks and have kept remaining 30 pesos out of the 100 pesos sent to him by God. So children, you must remember the three main themes that the chapter deals with. Let's move to the story, A Letter to God. A Letter to God detailed summary. Lencho was a farmer. His house was the only one in the entire valley. It was on the top of a hill. His fields needed light shower for good harvest. He had been looking towards the sky, hoping for rain. At night, while having the meal, big drops of rain began to fall. He went out to feel the rain on his body. Lencho was satisfied. The drops of rain were like coins. The big drops were 10-cent pieces, and the little ones were worth 5 each. Suddenly, a strong wind began to blow. Lencho was worried. Along with the rain came very large hailstones that truly resembled silver coins. The house, the fields, and the hillside got covered with white hails. Not a leaf could be seen on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. So were the flowers. Lencho was in grief, as they would have no corn that year. Lencho thought that there was only one hope: help from God. The following Sunday, he wrote a letter to God asking for 100 pesos as help so that he could sow his fields again and the family could survive until the new crops came. He wrote to God on the envelope without mentioning any address, placed a stamp, and dropped it into the mailbox. One of the postmen, who found the letter to be strange, laughed heartily and took it to the postmaster. The postmaster was quite a friendly and pleasant man. He too broke out laughing. But soon he became serious. He realized that the sender of the letter must have had great faith in God. He didn't want to shake Lencho's faith in God. Thus, he decided to answer the letter. The generous postmaster collected money from his employees and himself gave a part of his salary in order to secretly help the poor farmer. He kept a sum of 70 pesos in an envelope and sent it to Lencho by mail. Lencho, who had a firm and unshakable faith in God, believed that God would definitely help. Therefore, when he received the money, he was not at all surprised. Moreover, his happiness was just for a moment. When he counted the money, he became very angry. He believed that God could never deceive him. Immediately, he wrote a second letter to God and posted it. The postmaster opened the letter eagerly. Lencho had written that he received only 70 pesos that had been sent by God. He requested God to send him the rest of the money and ensure not to send money through mail, as the post office employees were a bunch of crooks. Thus, it's proved that Lencho was innocent and had unshakable faith in God. But simultaneously, his ignorance made him suspect those post office employees who helped him in his bad times. Thanks for watching the video.